Humanity struck back. The council tortured a child, and their worlds burned. The galaxy was quiet in the space between the stars. Vast swirls of light stretched across the darkness, and silent ships moved like shadows between the planets. For thousands of years, the council had ruled the spiral arm. They were careful and patient rulers. They claimed to be wise and fair. To them, power was a tool to keep peace, and cruelty was something only for enemies, never for themselves. Humanity had not been part of this balance until recently. Earth had been slow, small, and full of trouble. Humans had fought wars among themselves for centuries, struggled with sickness, hunger, and greed. But in less than 100 years, humans had discovered faster-than-light travel. They had sent ships into the stars, and they had begun to explore beyond their small blue planet. The council saw them as children with sharp teeth. Dangerous, yes, but not yet wise. When the first human ship arrived in council space, it was met with suspicion. The humans called themselves explorers. The council called them unpredictable. Some council members argued that humans should be studied. Others thought they should be kept far away from council space. The vote was unanimous. Humans would be watched, but they would not be allowed to join. Among the humans who first entered council space was Captain Liam Harper. He was a tall man with dark hair, quiet but careful. His ship, the Horizon Star, carried scientists, engineers, families, and a small security crew. Their mission was simple: explore, report, and avoid trouble. But humans were curious. They did not always follow rules. The Council's territory was vast, filled with hundreds of inhabited worlds and countless research stations. To reach even a small colony world, humans had to pass through the checkpoints of multiple species. Every time they stopped, they were examined, scanned, and questioned. Each time, humans smiled and explained, though sometimes with irritation. They had no choice but to cooperate. On a quiet morning, the Horizon Star received a transmission from a nearby system. A small colony there had gone silent. The system had 2 habitable planets, one for cities and one for farming. The farmers' reports had stopped. No signals had returned in over a week. The humans decided to investigate. Captain Harper called a meeting. His officers sat around the small table in the ship's command room. There was Commander Rachel Lane, his second in command, a woman with short brown hair and calm eyes, Lieutenant Ethan Scott, a young officer, eager to prove himself, Dr. Laura Bennett, the ship's chief scientist, who had the patience to study any strange plant or rock. And then there was the small group of civilians who had joined for the adventure, including a little girl named Lily Carter. Lily was 9 years old, bright and quiet. She had sandy hair and freckles that spread across her cheeks like tiny stars. She loved space, loved the idea of planets far from Earth, and she followed the adults around with wide eyes. But she was still a child, and children did not always understand danger. The Horizon Star entered the system cautiously. The stars shone faintly through the ship's windows. The planets appeared calm, blue, and green, like Earth from a distance. But something felt wrong. There were no docking signals, no life reports. Even the small satellites that orbited the worlds were silent. Captain Harper ordered a slow descent to the larger planet. The ground crews had not responded to any communications. As they approached, the crew noticed signs of destruction. Buildings were damaged. Smoke rose from the surface in thin columns. Small fires glowed in the distance. "Scan for life signs," Harper said, his voice calm but firm. The Horizon Star's sensors hummed. Lights flickered on the screen as the readings appeared. It was worse than anyone expected. There were faint heat signatures, but nothing like a normal city. The signals were scattered, weak, like people trying to hide. Dr. Bennett frowned.
This doesn't make sense. The colony was peaceful.
They had no weapons, no conflicts with anyone nearby. What could have done this? It's too precise. This looks deliberate. Someone attacked and wanted to leave survivors, maybe as a warning.
Rachel Lane stepped closer to the screen.
Her hands rested on the table. We should be careful. Whatever happened, it's not random, and we don't know if anyone is still alive. Captain Harper nodded. He looked toward the little figure of Lily standing quietly near the wall. Lily, he said gently, stay close to the adults. This is not safe. Lily nodded, her eyes wide. She wanted to see everything, but she trusted the captain. The crew prepared a landing party. They donned protective suits and armed themselves with the small defensive weapons the Horizon Star carried. It was not a warship, and it could not take much damage. But humans were clever, and their weapons were precise. The landing craft descended slowly. When they touched the planet, the air smelled of smoke and burned vegetation. The city was in ruins. Buildings had collapsed. Streets were empty. No animals, no people, only shadows and silence. As the landing party moved forward, they discovered signs of life: a small backpack, a broken toy, a shoe. Then they heard it, a faint cry, almost lost in the wind. Lily froze. She recognized the voice immediately. "Mommy!" Captain Harper motioned for silence. The sound came again. The voice was coming from the remains of a small research building. Carefully, the humans moved inside. Dust fell from the ceiling, and broken furniture was scattered everywhere. And then they found her. Lily Carter's parents were gone. The little girl was sitting in the middle of a ruined room, her knees pulled to her chest, shaking. Tears ran down her face. She looked up as Captain Harper approached. "It's okay," Harper said softly. "We're here to help." "Mommy?" she whispered. Rachel Lane crouched beside her. "We don't know yet," she said gently, "but we will find out." She clung to Rachel's arm, too scared to speak. Her small hands trembled. Every adult in the crew felt a heavy weight in their hearts. Humans were not used to seeing children suffer in this way. The council might be cruel, but this was different. Captain Harper sent a message to Earth. Colony in distress. Survivors found. One child. Full investigation required. Request immediate support. Then another message came. Not from Earth, but from the void. A council ship had appeared in orbit above the planet. Its hull was sleek and black, marked with the symbols of the council. Captain Harper's stomach tightened. The council had noticed them. The council ship did not communicate at first. Then a voice spoke through the translator. It was calm, smooth, but cold. "You are in council space. You are interfering with our operations. Leave immediately." Harper responded carefully. "We are rescuing survivors from a colony."
"We mean no harm."
There was a pause. Then the voice replied, sharper this time. "Your presence is unauthorized. Depart or face consequences." Quote, Captain Harper knew they could not leave Lily behind. The council's rules were strict. They punished humans for the smallest mistakes. But this was not a mistake. But this was a child's life. The Horizon Star retreated slowly, keeping sensors on the council ship. The landing party returned to the main ship, bringing with them the small, frightened girl. Lily cried quietly in her cabin that night. Captain Harper sat outside the door for a while, thinking. Humans had come to the stars looking for knowledge, for adventure, for discovery. They had not come looking for war. But the Council did not care about their innocence. The next day, the Horizon Star received another transmission. It was from another Council ship, but this one was not friendly. It carried a message that made everyone aboard the human ship uneasy. The child will be handed to Council authorities, the message said. Resistance will be met with force. Human actions are noted. Harper read the message again and again. The Council had taken Lily's parents. Now they were threatening her life. Rachel Lane clenched her fists. They can't do that. She's just a child. No, said Ethan Scott quietly. They will. They always do what they want. Dr. Bennett shook her head. We have to get her out. If they take her, they will experiment on her. We've seen their work before. Even adults are not safe. No, a child, she trailed off, unable to finish the thought. Harper looked at the crew. Each of them understood the same thing. Humanity had arrived in the galaxy thinking it could be careful, thinking it could negotiate. But now, the Council had crossed a line. Lily Carter slept that night unaware of the danger. She dreamed of her mother, of green fields and the laughter of home. Above her, the stars moved silently, indifferent to the struggle below. Captain Harper sat on the observation deck, staring at the stars. His mind raced. Earth had no idea what was coming. The Council would not give up easily. But humanity had something the Council could not understand. The bond between a parent and a child, a species willing to risk everything for one innocent life. He knew one thing for certain. The Horizon Star would not return to Earth empty-handed. Lily would survive. And if the Council wanted to stop them, they would have to face humanity itself. The galaxy was about to see the humans' anger, their cunning, and their determination. It would not be a gentle lesson. But it would be a lesson they would never forget. The stars shimmered quietly, unaware that a storm was rising. The Horizon Star moved quickly through the dark void of space. Captain Liam Harper stared at the navigation screens, his jaw tight. Every system they passed brought them closer to Council territory, closer to danger. But Lily Carter was not going to be left behind. She was human, and humans did not abandon one of their own. Lily sat quietly in her cabin, clutching a small blanket. She was too young to understand politics, too small to see the fleets moving silently in orbit above distant worlds, but she understood fear, and she understood loss. Her parents were gone. She didn't know if they were alive. She only knew that the adults with her, the ones who had saved her from the ruins of the colony, were all she had left. Captain Harper called a meeting in the small conference room. Rachel Lane, his second-in-command, Dr. Per Wide, Laura Bennett, and Lieutenant Ethan Scott gathered around. Their faces were serious, and even the youngest crew members could feel the tension. We have no time to waste, Harper said. The Council knows we are here. They know we have Lily. They will not stop until she is in their hands.
Rachel Lane spoke first. We can't outrun them forever.
Their ships are faster and better armed. If they catch us, they will take Lily by force. Dr. Bennett's voice was quiet but firm. We need proof of what they did to the colony. If Earth sees it, the Council cannot hide their crimes. We need to expose them before it's too late. Harper nodded. Agreed. Ethan, prepare the sensors for deep scans. We need to find any record of what happened on that planet. He had a young face, but his hands moved with the confidence of someone who had trained for years. I can scan for data logs, communication signals, anything left behind. If they tried to erase evidence, I might still recover fragments. The horizon star moved closer to the ruined colony world. The sensors scanned the surface. Broken buildings, burned streets, and empty fields filled the screen. But Ethan's careful work began to reveal something else. Faint traces of hidden data drives. They had survived the fires and destruction. "Found something," Ethan said, pointing to the screen. "It looks like storage drives, small devices hidden under debris. Whoever left them wanted them found, or maybe didn't want anyone to find them. Recover them. We need every piece of evidence we can get." The crew suited up again and moved to the planet. Lily stayed on the horizon star with Rachel, but she could see the men and women leaving in the smaller shuttle. The winds of the ruined world blew dust across the sensors, but the landing party pressed forward. They found the drives hidden in a small underground bunker. Dr. Bennett carefully removed them and attached a reader. The screens lit up with images, videos, and logs. Harper watched in silence as the first recordings appeared. The images were grainy, but they showed what had happened to the colony. Armed council soldiers moved through the streets, rounding up humans. Families were separated. Children were taken. Houses were burned. People screamed, begged, and fought back. But the council did not stop. Then they saw Lily's parents. They were being pulled into a transport. Their faces were full of fear, but they tried to comfort other children. And then the camera shifted. The focus was on a small room. Inside was a child, 9 years old, tied to a chair. Her face was pale, her eyes wide. She cried, but the soldiers did not care. This child was Lily. Bennett gasped. They tortured her. Rachel Lane's hands clenched into fists. "They can't do this. She's just a child." Harper stared at the screen, his mind sharp and cold. "This changes everything. Earth will want justice. Humanity will not forgive this," Ethan Scott added quietly, "and the council thinks humans are weak. They don't understand what family means." They returned to the horizon star. The drives were safe, and the recordings were ready to be sent to Earth. Harper prepared a secure transmission. The images and logs left the ship traveling faster than light, carrying proof of the council's cruelty. Meanwhile, the council was not idle. They had noticed the horizon star moving through their space, and they had confirmed the child was on board. The High Council convened. "You have violated our orders," one counselor said to another, his voice cold and sharp. "They have taken the child," another counselor replied. "This is an insult, a provocation. They cannot be allowed to leave our space." The High Council debated for hours. Some argued that humans should be destroyed immediately. Others said the child could be used as leverage. In the end, they agreed on one thing: humanity must be punished. Back on the horizon star, Lily began to understand something. She was not safe, not in her small cabin, not anywhere in the galaxy. She trusted Captain Harper and the crew, but the fear was growing inside her. She missed her parents. She wanted them back. Rachel Lane sat with her and held her hand. "We're going to keep you safe, Lily," she said softly. "No one is taking you from us. Promise?" "I promise," Rachel said. The days passed slowly. The horizon star moved through dark space, always cautious, always alert. Council ships scanned the area constantly, trying to find the humans. The Horizon Star's sensors detected them before they were detected, and Harper used every trick he knew to avoid confrontation. But the Council was patient. They did not give up. Their fleets moved silently, surrounding systems, cutting off escape routes. The humans could feel it, a pressure in the stars, like hands reaching toward them. Then, a new message arrived from the Council, carried through encrypted channels. The words were cold, calculated, and clear. Return the child immediately. Failure to comply will result in destruction of your vessel and everyone aboard. You have been warned. Harper read the message carefully. He looked at Rachel and Ethan. He could see the anger building, the same anger he felt. Humanity did not negotiate when a child was threatened.
No, Harper said quietly. They will not have her.
They will never have her. Rachel Lane nodded. We need to strike first.
If they think they can take her without consequence, they will try. We cannot wait.
Dr. Bennett added, we have the evidence from the colony.
If we use it wisely, we can turn the galaxy against them. But first,
we need to protect Lily. The Horizon Star moved toward a small, uninhabited planet. It was a safe place, far from Council patrols. There, they could plan. They could prepare. They could decide how humanity would respond. Lily spent her time drawing pictures of her home, her parents, and the stars she loved. Captain Harper watched her from a distance, feeling a protective warmth he had never felt before. She was small, but she carried the weight of the entire human race on her shoulders now. On the planet's surface, the crew set up temporary communication stations and sensor arrays. They prepared for the Council's inevitable response. Every plan was calculated. Every possible outcome was considered. Then, the Council made their first move. A small fleet appeared at the edge of the system, moving toward the Horizon Star. Harper ordered full alert. Weapons were armed, shields raised. This was not a fight they wanted, but it was coming, whether they liked it or not. The Council ships moved with precision, but Harper's crew was clever. Using the planet's terrain and advanced maneuvering, they avoided the fleet. The Horizon Star fired warning shots not to destroy, but to signal that they would fight if necessary. And then, a Council drone broke formation and moved closer to the planet. It carried scanners, cameras, and weapons, small but deadly. It would locate Lily and report her location instantly. Harper made a decision. He ordered a boarding team to intercept the drone before it could send the signal. Rachel Lane led the team with Ethan Scott and a small squad. They used a shuttle to reach the drone in the upper atmosphere, avoiding detection until the last moment. The boarding was tense. The drone had automated defenses, and the small team moved carefully, disabling systems one by one. Sparks flew, alarms blared, but they succeeded. The drone was destroyed. Its memory drives recovered. No one knew Lily's location. Back on the Horizon Star, Lily hugged Rachel, trembling but safe. Harper stood nearby, watching the stars. The Council had underestimated humanity. They had underestimated the bond between a child and a species willing to fight for her. Dr. Wilburn. Bennett looked at Harper. They think they are powerful. They think they are untouchable. But we have something they cannot destroy. Our will. Harper nodded. And our proof. Earth will see this. The galaxy will see this. They will not get away with what they did.
Lily whispered, "Will they hurt my parents?"
We will find them, Lily. I promise.
No matter what it takes, The Horizon Star left the small planet behind. Ahead lay Council territory, full of dangers, full of warships, and full of enemies. But for the first time, humanity's mission had changed. It was no longer exploration. It was rescue, protection, and revenge. In the dark expanse of space, a storm was rising. The Council had made their choice. Humanity had made theirs. And the first strike would not wait. Every human aboard the Horizon Star knew one thing. The Council had tortured a child, and that was a line they could never forgive. The stars stretched endlessly, silent witnesses to the coming storm. The Horizon Star moved through the empty darkness of space, silent but determined. Captain Liam Harper stood on the bridge, staring at the stars that stretched endlessly ahead. Every sensor was active. Every crew member was alert. The Council had made their threat clear, but humanity was not afraid. Not anymore. They had something the Council could not understand: anger, courage, and the need to protect one of their own. Lily Carter sat quietly in the observation room, looking out at the stars. She did not understand war or politics, but she understood one thing clearly. She wanted her parents back. She wanted to feel safe again. She trusted Captain Harper and the crew, but fear still lingered in her small heart. Rachel Lane approached her and smiled softly. "We're getting closer to finding them, Lily. I promise we won't stop until we do." Lily nodded. She didn't speak, but her eyes showed she believed them. The crew began planning their next move. They had received no response from the Council after destroying the drone and recovering its memory drives. But Harper knew it was only a matter of time before the Council struck back. They were preparing for a fight, and humanity would have to be clever to survive. Dr. Laura Bennett studied the recovered memory drives. The Council has been hiding data about the colonies. They think no one will ever find it. But we have it now. We can use it. Harper leaned over her shoulder, looking at the logs. Images of burned cities, captured families, and Council soldiers moving with ruthless precision filled the screen. "This is proof," Harper said. "Proof they can't deny. Proof the galaxy will see." Ethan Scott, young but sharp, spoke up. "We can hit their supply lines first. If we disrupt their fleets and stations, they'll have trouble organizing against us. They'll be forced to react, not attack." Harper nodded. "Good. Prepare the strike teams. We move at first light." The Horizon Star traveled to the first target, a Council supply depot orbiting a dead, uninhabited planet. The depot was massive, filled with fuel tanks, spare ships, and weapons. If destroyed, it would slow the Council's movements and give humanity the advantage. The attack was precise. Harper split the Horizon Star's weapons into small volleys, the first fired hitting the depot's outer defenses and disabling them. The Council ships nearby tried to respond, but they were too far to act in time. Rachel Lane led a boarding party to the depot. Using small shuttlecraft, they moved inside, disabling automated turrets and security systems. Every move was calculated, every step quiet. They set charges on fuel tanks and critical systems, making sure the destruction would be complete. Lily watched from the Horizon Star, nervous but brave. She knew the adults were risking their lives for her, and that made her feel both proud and scared. When the charges detonated, the depot erupted in a massive explosion. Fire and debris filled space. The Horizon Star fired warning shots at the Council ships that had arrived too late. They retreated, surprised by the human skill and precision. Dr. Baowa Bennett watched the logs of the explosion. "They won't expect that again." she said. We've shown them humanity can strike without warning. Harper nodded. And we will?
We need to keep pressure on them. Every supply depot, every weak point, we hit first.
Make them fear us. The council was stunned.
Their communications were filled with panic and anger. They had believed humans were weak, slow to act, and easy to intimidate. They had been wrong. The next target was a small research station on the edge of Council territory. It was heavily guarded, but Harper had a plan. Using cloaking technology salvaged from previous missions, the Horizon Star moved undetected through the outer defense field. Rachel Lane led another strike team. They infiltrated the station, using intelligence from the memory drives to avoid traps and security systems. They found files detailing experiments on children, adults, and civilians taken from various colonies. The Council had been experimenting for decades, and now humanity held the proof. Ethan Scott worked quickly to copy everything. We can't leave anything behind, he said. If they find us, it's over. We take it all. The team returned to the Horizon Star just before Council reinforcements arrived. The Horizon Star fired its engines, jumping to hyperspace and leaving the station behind in flames. Back in deep space, Captain Harper gathered the crew. This is only the beginning. The Council has underestimated humanity. They think fear will stop us, but it won't. They will learn that when a human is threatened, the whole species strikes back. Lily looked up at Harper. Will they hurt my parents? She whispered. Harper's eyes softened. We will find them, Lily, no matter what it takes. The Horizon Star continued its journey through Council space. They moved quickly, striking supply depots, communication hubs, and lightly defended planets. Humanity was relentless. Every action was calculated, every strike precise. The Council tried to respond, but their forces were scattered and confused. On one occasion, a Council warship attempted to ambush the Horizon Star in an asteroid field. Harper had anticipated the move. Using the terrain to his advantage, the Horizon Star dodged incoming fire and returned attacks, hitting the Council ship's engines. The warship spun out of control and was destroyed. Dr. Bennett commented quietly, "They didn't expect tactics like this. They think they are invincible, but we've learned their patterns. We can predict them." Rachel Lane nodded. And we will continue. The more we strike, the more fear spreads among their ranks. They are starting to doubt themselves. Even small victories mattered. The crew of the Horizon Star became more confident. Ethan Scott, once nervous and unsure, now led small squads with precision and courage. Every officer understood the stakes. Humanity's first strikes were teaching the Council a harsh lesson. Humans were not easy to intimidate. As the attacks continued, the Council began to fracture. Some member species began questioning the leadership. They had relied on the Council's control for centuries, but now they saw weakness. Whispers of doubt spread among the Council fleets. Some ships withdrew, hoping to avoid conflict. Others tried to negotiate secretly with the humans. Captain Harper noticed these changes. They're beginning to panic, he said. Good. Keep the pressure. Never give them time to recover. Lily spent time helping the crew. She drew pictures, cleaned small areas, and learned the layout of the Horizon Star. She was growing brave. She knew the adults were fighting for her, and she wanted to help in any way she could. Then, the Council made their move. A fleet of warships appeared on the edge of human-controlled space. They were well-armed and disciplined. This was not a small force. This was a strike fleet meant to destroy the Horizon Star and recover the child. Hopper called the crew to battle stations. They're coming for us. We've expected this. But we are ready. They think they can overwhelm us. They are wrong. The Horizon Star moved carefully, weaving between asteroids and debris to avoid detection. They lured the Council fleet into a trap, using the stations they had previously attacked as bait. The humans created an ambush. The first shots were fired. Plasma bolts lit the darkness of space, and explosions filled the void. Council ships tried to regroup, but the humans were faster, more precise, and unpredictable. Every attack was calculated to disable engines, weapons, and communications first, not to destroy life unnecessarily. Humanity fought with skill and strategy, not just fury. Rachel Lane led a boarding team onto a disabled Council ship. Using small shuttles, they infiltrated the vessel and sabotaged critical systems. Fires broke out in the corridors, forcing the crew to abandon ship. The Horizon Star fired precise shots to ensure the ship could not recover. Bennett monitored communications from the Council ships. "They're panicking," she said. "They didn't expect humans to fight like this. They didn't expect intelligence and strategy combined with skill." Harper nodded. "This is just the beginning." Harper, "We are showing them humanity is not weak. We are showing them that we protect our own, no matter the cost." As the battle ended, the Council fleet retreated, leaving damaged ships behind. The humans had won, but they knew it was only temporary. The Council would recover and strike again, but humanity had made a statement. They would not be bullied, and they would not back down. Lily watched from the observation deck. She did not fully understand the battle, but she felt the pride and courage of the crew. She felt safe, protected, and more determined than ever. Captain Harper stood on the bridge, looking at the stars. "The Council thinks they are untouchable, but they are not. They have underestimated humanity, and they will pay for it. We will find Lily's parents, and we will make sure the galaxy knows the truth. No one harms our children and survives without consequence." The Horizon Star moved forward, deeper into Council space. The crew prepared for the next strike, the next rescue, the next battle. Every human aboard knew the stakes. Humanity had shown its strength, and the Council had seen what happened when they crossed a line. In the darkness of space, a storm was growing. The first waves of humanity's wrath had struck, and the Council had felt the burn. The war was only beginning. And Lily Carter, small but brave, was at the center of it all. The stars waited silently, watching the coming storm. The Horizon Star moved steadily through the dark expanse of space. The stars stretched like silent witnesses to the battle that was about to reach its peak. Captain Liam Harper stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the Council's capital world ahead. It was massive, a glittering city of towers, fleets, and defense grids. It had always seemed untouchable. Now it was within humanity's reach. Lily Carter sat nearby, holding a small blanket. She had grown braver over the past weeks, but her small hands still shook when the Council fleets appeared on sensors. She had seen fire, heard explosions, and felt fear, but she had also seen courage, friendship, and determination. The crew had become her family.
Rachel Lane approached Lily. "We're almost there," she said softly.
"No matter what happens, we're going to make sure your parents are safe." Lily nodded quietly. She didn't fully understand how, but she trusted them. Captain Harper gathered his officers. Dr. Laura Bennett, Lieutenant Ethan Scott, and Rachel stood beside him. "This is it," Harper said. "The Council has underestimated humanity for too long. They have tortured a child, destroyed colonies, and thought we would do nothing. Now they will learn what happens when they cross a line they should never have crossed." Dr. Bennett nodded. "We have their weaknesses from the memory drives. We know the locations of key fleets, weapons systems, and defense stations. If we act carefully, we can dismantle their power without unnecessary loss of life." Ethan Scott added, "And the Council knows we're coming. They're expecting a battle, but not this." The Horizon Star approached the planet cautiously. The Council's orbital defenses were massive. Thousands of ships, automated turrets, and shield arrays covered the atmosphere. It looked impossible to attack, but Harper had a plan. Humanity had learned speed, precision, and strategy. They would use it all now. Rachel Lane led the boarding teams. Using smaller shuttles, they moved through gaps in the defense grid, guided by intelligence recovered from the memory drives. Fires erupted on the surface as they disabled turrets and communication hubs. Every move was precise, every strike calculated. Lily watched from the observation deck as explosions lit the night sky of the capital world. She felt fear, yes, but also pride. Humans were fighting not for conquest, not for greed, but to protect one of their own. They fought for her, and for the countless innocents who had suffered at the Council's hands. The first Council fleet responded. Massive warships moved into attack positions, firing plasma bolts that streaked through space. The Horizon Star dodged and weaved, returning fire carefully, targeting engines, weapon systems, and shields. Humanity did not seek to destroy indiscriminately. They wanted the Council to see the consequences of their cruelty. Captain Harper's voice came over the comms. "Keep moving. Target critical systems first. We need them to lose control, not life unnecessarily. Protect the city below. Focus on their military infrastructure." Dr. Bennett monitored the Council communications. "They're panicking," she said. "They didn't expect humans to fight like this. Their fleets are breaking apart, some ships retreating, some turning on each other in confusion." "Good. Keep the pressure. We can't give them time to regroup." On the surface of the planet, the Council tried to consolidate its forces. Their leaders gathered in the central command tower, unaware that boarding teams had already infiltrated key stations. Ethan Scott and his squad disabled communication relays, causing confusion across the planet. Automated defenses turned against the Council's own ships. Humanity had turned their strength against them. Captain Harper gave the final order: "Prepare the strike on the central command tower. This ends today." The boarding teams moved quickly, avoiding traps and patrols. Fires and explosions erupted around them, but their focus was clear. They reached the tower's inner chamber. Inside, the surviving counselors waited, eyes wide with fear. They had never expected the humans to reach them. Not like this. Not with precision and skill. Rachel Lane spoke first. "You underestimated humanity. You thought fear would keep us in line. You thought cruelty would work. You were wrong." The counselors attempted to speak, to justify their actions, but the humans were calm and unyielding. Captain Harper stepped forward. "You have tortured children. You have destroyed colonies. You have broken the rules of the galaxy. Humanity will not forgive this." Dr. Bennett added, "We have proof of your crimes. Every colony, every experiment, every attack. The galaxy will know what you did." The counselors looked at each other in fear. For the first time in thousands of years, they realized they were powerless. Humanity had arrived, precise, determined, and unstoppable. On the Horizon Star, Lily Carter's parents were being rescued. They had been held in a secret council facility far from the capital. Captain Harper had located them using intelligence from the memory drives. The reunion was quiet but emotional. Tears flowed, hugs were held, and promises were made. Humanity had not lost anyone important. Lily ran to her parents, clinging to them.
I thought I'd never see you again, she cried.
Her mother hugged her tightly. You're safe now, Lily. We're all safe now. Her father looked at Captain Harper and the crew. Thank you, he said simply. We owe you everything. The Horizon Star continued its attacks. The Council's fleets were scattered, their defense grids dismantled, and their communications broken. Humanity had turned the tide completely. The capital world was no longer untouchable. Captain Harper gathered the crew once more. This is the last step. We are not here to destroy life unnecessarily. We are here to ensure justice. We will show the galaxy that cruelty will not go unpunished. Rachel Lane nodded. They need to understand. Humanity protects its own. Anyone who harms us will pay the price. Dr. Bennett added, and we will do it with strategy, intelligence, and courage. Not chaos, not blind rage. The Horizon Star moved into the central orbit of the capital world. Fires burned across the surface as the Council's military infrastructure collapsed. Boarding teams disabled weapons, security systems, and escape pods. Humanity's strike was precise, targeted, and unstoppable. In the central chamber of the command tower, Captain Harper confronted the remaining counselors. Their faces were pale, their confidence gone. Harper spoke slowly, clearly, and with authority. You have ruled with cruelty for thousands of years. You have tortured children, destroyed innocent lives, and thought yourselves untouchable. Humanity is not weak. We do not forgive. We do not forget. You will face justice for every act of cruelty you have committed. The counselors had no words. They could only watch as their control slipped away. Every system, every weapon, every fleet they had counted on was disabled. Humanity had shown them the cost of their arrogance. Dr. Bennett added one final message. Let this be a warning to the galaxy. Any species that harms children, any species that tortures the innocent, will face the consequences. Humanity will not allow it. The Council's capital world fell silent. Fires burned across the planet, but civilian areas had been spared wherever possible. Humanity had not sought conquest. They had sought justice. Lily Carter walked with her parents onto the Horizon Star's observation deck. She looked at the stars, the same stars she had watched when her life was in danger. Now, she felt safe. She had seen courage, determination, and justice in action. She had witnessed the strength of humanity. You are safe now, Lily, and the galaxy will remember what happened here. Rachel Lane added, Your bravery, Lily, showed us all what we are fighting for. Not just colonies, not just planets, but the innocent, the helpless, the ones who cannot protect themselves. The Council's surviving leaders were held accountable. They would face trial not by humans alone, but by the entire galaxy. The proof humanity had collected was undeniable. Every act of cruelty was recorded, every witness identified. Justice would be served. Across the galaxy, word spread of humanity's actions. They had struck with precision, courage, and strategy. They had rescued the innocent, punished the guilty, and shown that no species could harm a child without consequence. Captain Harper addressed his crew. We have won today, not through chaos or mindless destruction, but through courage, strategy, and determination. Humanity has shown the galaxy who we are.
We protect our own, and we will not be intimidated. Lily Carter sat quietly, her small hands holding her mother's.
She had survived the cruelty of the Council. She had seen humanity's strength and resolve. She had been the reason the galaxy had witnessed what humans could do when they fought for justice. The Horizon Star left the capital world behind. The Council's fleets were in disarray, their infrastructure dismantled. Humanity had won not through conquest, but through courage and unity. Captain Harper looked at the stars ahead. "This is only the beginning," he said quietly. "The galaxy now knows that humanity protects its own. That lesson will not be forgotten." Lily looked up at him, her eyes wide. "We really did it, didn't we?" Harper smiled.
Yes, Lily, we did it.
"And we will keep doing it, as long as it takes to protect the innocent." The stars shone silently as the Horizon Star moved onward. Humanity had struck back, and the galaxy had seen their strength. The Council had been broken, their cruelty exposed, and their power diminished. And in the quiet of space, one small girl had changed the course of history. Lily Carter's courage had become a symbol of hope, justice, and the power of humanity. The storm had passed, but the lesson remained. Anyone who harms the innocent will face the wrath of those who protect them. Humanity had shown the galaxy its true strength. The stars watched quietly, bearing witness to a new era.